Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today is part 2 of my big unhaul of my TBR. I don't even remember in the first video how many books there are, but here's an update on, in part 1 I got rid of this many books. So we are still on a roll. I'm getting rid of so many and it's feeling really nice to get a big bulk of them that I know I'm not gonna read off my shelves, knowing that they're going somewhere cool. So if you didn't watch part 1, I am building a free little library that is going in the yard of my business that I'm creating, and I just thought it was a fun way to give back. I love reading, I love getting books. A ton of the books that I get come from dollar sales or yard sales or things like that, so they're really inexpensive, and so I can't wait to put them in the free little library and let people dive into them, because I'm not gonna get to them anytime soon. So letting other people have that joy is so great. So I can't wait to get done with this. In part 1 of this, I did my bottom 2 shelves. So today we're gonna focus on the top 2 shelves and hammer that out and get it done and see how many books we've got for the little free library. So let's get into this video. The first 2 books on here are The Land of Stories, book 4 and book 5. These are books that I loved as a kid. I think all of them except for the first one. So I have 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I remember as a kid, the third one being the last one that I remember reading. So I'd like to go back and read them again as an adult and see if I'm still like in love with this series or not, but I still have to get the first one. So we're keeping these on my TBR for when that happens. The next book that I have is Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. I am definitely keeping this on my list. I don't even remember where I got this book. I think someone might have given it to me. But I know there's a lot of controversy around Colleen Hoover and people's thoughts on her and people's thoughts on her writing. I have loved some of her books and I have not liked some of her books. So I am open to giving her a chance on any book, because some of them I've rated 5 stars and some of them I've rated like 2.5. So I'm gonna give this one a chance and see how we're feeling. The ones that I'm choosing to keep, I'm moving down to a lower shelf just to keep track of everything. So if you see me putting them on different shelves, that means nothing other than I'm just reorganizing. Okay, the next one I have is Bridgerton, the Viscount Who Loved Me. Now, I don't know which one this is in the series. I think this is the second book. I got this at a yard sale for like 50 cents. Definitely gonna leave this on my shelf. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it. I know you can kind of read them not in order because each book is about a different person, but I want to read them in order like the series is on Netflix. So I have the second one, going to read this at some point, but need to get the first one first. The next book I have is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I don't think I said the authors of any of the other books, but this one's by Louisa May Alcott. This is a classic book. I have it on my shelf and it's been on my shelf for a minute. I just found a ticket for Hershey, Pennsylvania from when I was literally a kid in 2015. So that's how long this has been on my TBR. This book has been on my TBR for 10 years, y'all. That is hilarious. I guess I started the book on that trip and only made it in 22 pages. That's hilarious. I did not know that. So she's been here for a minute. I definitely want to read this because it's a classic. Everyone talks about it. I just remember the scene in Friends where like they're trading books and Joey has to read Little Women, and I just like want to dive into it. It's very overwhelming for me though, because I don't like older books typically. So that's what's, I think, throwing me off about it, but I do want to dive into this one. So it's staying on my TBR. The next book that I have is Live on Purpose by Sadie Mae Robertson. No, why did I say Sadie Mae? That is my dog's name. By Sadie Robertson Huff. Whew. And it's a devotional, keeping it on my TBR. I know me and Zach are going through a different devotional right now, but this is something that I will probably start after that one. So she's staying up here. The next one is called Hope Travels Through. This book is something that I don't remember where I got it, honestly. I might have gotten it for a video, I might not have. It's by Lonnie Kemper Moore, and it's a book that takes place in Evansville. I think it's like her story. Or no, I'm so sorry. That is not what this is about. It's based on the actual events of something that happened in Evansville that really rocked the town, or the city, but it's someone else's story. It's like it's what am I trying to say? Think. It is a make-believe story based on true events. What is that? I don't know. The word's not coming to me. But, so I want to keep this because it's about the city that I live near. Next is The Secret Messenger by Mandy Robotham? I don't know. This one's interesting because I really have been getting into historical fiction books recently. If you've watched any of my reading vlogs, you know that I've read actually quite a few historical fictions and have really liked all of them. So this is one that I'm really excited to dive into. It's about World War II, kind of, so, and like the Nazis, which I find fascinating. So this one's staying on the TBR. Next is The Wedding by Nicholas Sparks. If you've watched my book haul vlog, I got this one, and I didn't know that there was a second to the Notebook, but there is, and so I wanted to read this. I think I'm kind of holding off though, because I'd like to get the Notebook, like the actual book. I'm like, do I have it? No, I don't think so. I'd like to get the Notebook and read it first, because I've never actually read that book, and then read this one. So I'm gonna keep it, but it might be a minute before I get to it. Another Nicholas Sparks book that I have is At First Sight. Definitely keeping any Nicholas Sparks books. Any ones that I've read, I've absolutely loved and have literally shattered my heart into pieces. So I have to just be like in a specific crying mood usually to read a Nicholas Sparks book. So they're staying on my TBR, but I have to be in the mood. Another Nicholas Sparks books. This one I had never heard of, and I think I got this in a book vlog in the past. But another Nicholas Sparks book, we're keeping it, moving on. Next I have Unnatural Ends by Christopher Huang. This is another one that totally out of my element, not something I would normally read, but really caught me up at a book sale, and it's definitely on my list. It's not high on my list, but she's staying there. Next is Sweet Little Lies by Lauren Conrad. This one is obviously a little bit younger of an audience, I think. And this is one that I think I'm going to put in the Little Free Library. I think if you're around my age, maybe even a little bit younger, you'll probably love the premise of this book. It sounds super, super interesting. I would love to get to it. I just think there's so many other books that I'm so much more drawn to than this one. So this one's gonna be our next Little Free Library pick. Next I have If You Were Here by Alafair Burke. I think this is gonna be the next choice for our Little Free Library. It sounds super, super interesting to me. I'm not even gonna lie, but I just don't think it's as interesting as some of the other books in this genre for me. But I don't know, this one's a hard decision for me because it really does sound like something I would absolutely love, and maybe someday I will get to read it again, but I'm feeling like that urge that somebody's going to love this so much that I need to give it to the free library. I don't know, I genuinely hope whoever reads this loves it because it sounds so interesting to me. Next we have The War Outside by Monica Hess. This one sounds a little sad, girl. This one I'm going to keep. It sounds like another almost like historical fiction type of book. And like I said, I've really been getting into that recently. So I'm gonna keep it and hope that this one is pretty good. We'll see. Okay, this one is The Perfect Circle by Sean Stewart. When I first got this book, it seemed super interesting to me, and it still does seem interesting to me, but it also seems a little scrambled to me, and I'm not really into ghost stories, so I don't know how much I'd like this. I like the mystery element to it, but I'm just not like a ghosty girl, so I think this would be perfect for someone who really wants like a ghost story, because that's kind of the premise of this. So it's going in the little free library. The next book is The Dating Playbook by Farah Roken, I think. I picked this book up at a book event where I filmed a video just based on the covers of books, and I picked this up because it has Abby Jimenez saying that it's fun, heartfelt, and totally relatable. And to me, I was like, oh, I've read an Abby Jimenez book, loved it, might as well pick it up. It does still sound interesting, but I don't know, guys. This is a hard one. Okay, I think it's going in the little free library. I'm struggling with the decision because this sounds right up my alley, but I've had it for a while, haven't picked it up. If it's right up my alley, why haven't I picked it up? I feel like this is gonna be a popular one in the library because it's just so relevant, so I'm gonna put it in there. The next two books I have is How to Put Love First. This is again by Sadie Robertson Huff. Me and Zach have started this devotional, but I think something happened where we didn't actually finish it, but we got pretty good of the way through. So that's why it's still on the TBR, but I highly recommend this one, especially going through it with your love. It's really good. So it's staying on the TBR. And then I also have Hannah Brown's God Bless This Mess. I think my dad got this for me, possibly. I'm not 100% certain exactly where I got it, but this one's definitely staying. Again, I just have to be in the mood to be reading a nonfiction book. I just do, but that is definitely staying on my TBR. Okay, I'm gonna put these back up here because I'm running out of room down here. So. Okay, so next we have How to Pack for the End of the World by Michelle Falkoff. This one I'm keeping because I just love end of the world type stuffs. This one definitely feels a little younger, but it might be just like a quick, easy read. So I'm gonna keep it. And then if I don't like it, maybe I'll end up donating it. We'll see. So the next I have Here for the Drama by Kate Bromley. This was another one I think I bought just based off of the cover of it. I'm gonna keep this one. It feels right up my alley. It's a romance book. It's British. I feel like this is right up my alley, so I'm gonna keep this one. Then next I have Just the Two of Us by Jo Wild. This one I'm on the edge about just because it's, I don't know, it's after 34 years of marriage, their romance has fizzled out, so it's kind of them coming back to each other. I think I'm going to keep this one just because now that I am married, I think I got this before I was married, but now that I am married, it would be interesting to read about someone who's been married for a really long time. I feel like a lot of books that you read are people who aren't married, so it would be really interesting. I'm definitely gonna keep this one. I'm gonna keep it. And if you guys know me at all, I have Sarah Dessen's Lock and Key. I got this because when I was in like middle school, Sarah Dessen was like it for me, and I loved her books, so I want to read a book of hers again and see if that love for her is still there. So we're definitely keeping this one. Okay, let's clean the shelf off so we have some room to breathe. Some room to breathe, girl. Okay, we're on the last shelf. I feel like we've done such a good job of cleaning them out. So I'm really excited. There's so many books that we can get rid of. So let's keep going and see, let's finish this off and see how we've done. What is our library gonna be full or what? Okay, let's start on this end. So I have The Swap by Megan Scholl. I actually have read this whenever I was a kid, and it's definitely a book for kids. So I don't know why it's on my TBR. This one's gonna go in the Little Free Library. This is definitely more for kids in like high school or middle school. Honestly, probably more middle school. I loved it whenever I was a kid, so I don't know why it's over here and not over there, but let's put it in the Little Free Library. Next, I have The Vampire Diaries. I found this at some sort of book sale. I love the show. The show Vampire Diaries is one of my top 5 favorite shows of all time, so I want to read the books. I don't think this is the first one. This is definitely in the series a little bit, but I found it. And I was like, you know what, at some point I do want to read that series, so I might as well collect it. So I must have gotten this for really cheap. We're keeping on the TBR, but we're gonna have to find the first one first. Next we have The Shark by Mary Burton. This I'm 100% keeping. I feel like for the past like 3 or 4 months, this has been on my immediate TBR and just hasn't gotten read. And so this past month, I just put it up. I was like, fine, we're not even putting it on the immediate TBR because I know I'm not gonna get to it, but I really am interested in reading this one. It ends up on my immediate TBR almost every single month. So one day I will get to it, it's just not today. Next we have Belladonna by Adeline Grace. This is 100% a must read for me soon. I just love the concept, love how it sounds, and this is 100% staying on the TBR. She needs to get read. I just, like, look at the cover of this book. She's gorgeous, like absolutely stunning. And I don't know why I haven't gotten there yet, but I'm going to get there soon. I need to do like a 24-hour reading challenge or something and just get through as many books as possible. Next we have The Weekend Wedding Assistant by Rachel Gladstone. This one I bought when I was wedding planning, so it really called to me. Okay, executive decision. I'm going to put this in the Little Free Library. I think this premise sounds so interesting. It just sounds a little sad for me. It's a romantic comedy about death and second chances, and it revolves around wedding planning, obviously. And I just don't know, being newly married, and I just don't know if that would probably send me spiraling thinking about my husband. I don't know if I could do that, but the premise sounds so intriguing, and when I first picked it up, I really was really determined to figure this out and read it. And now I'm just in a different stage of life and don't think this would be good for me at all. So we're going to put it in the Little Free Library. Next I have The Charmed List by Julie Abe. This is a teen fiction book. This one I'm going to put in the Little Free Library. It's definitely for a younger audience. I want my Little Free Library to have books for like everyone. So whereas this one sounds really interesting, it's a magical enemies to lovers romance, or like a best friends to enemies to lover story. So I think this will be so great for a teenager. I, again, haven't read it, so I don't know if I could recommend it to a teenager. Some teenage books I've read, I'm like, too old for a teenager, but from just the premise alone, this sounds really interesting, so I'm gonna put it in the Little Free Library. Sometimes I feel like I talk so fast, like, I don't know what that is. But if that bothers you, maybe slow me down, I don't know. Put me on like negative speed. Okay, next is The Impossible Us by Sarah Lotz. This one sounds super, super interesting to me. Okay, this one's keeping it. The premise is so interesting. I definitely want to read it. The little blurb says, for two strangers, it's always wrong place, right time. So I love the premise. Going to keep it. Okay, next I have A Kindness in Their Hearts by Jim Weaver. Okay. This one, I'm making the executive decision to put it in the Little Free Library. I do not know where the heck I got this book. I don't know if it was given to me. I don't know. The premise sounds really interesting. It sounds maybe a little young, possibly. I really don't know that much about it, and I really don't remember where I got it, honestly. But it sounds really interesting. It's just not my kind of thing. So we're going to give it to the Little Free Library. Wow, we have gotten rid of so many books off the TBR. I feel like, whew, I can breathe. This feels a lot more manageable. I have this book. It's Zach's books, SEAL Team 6. He still doesn't read it. If you'll remember, I got it at a book sale. He was with me, and I was like, you can get a book if you want. Picked this one up. Still hasn't read it. Are we surprised? No. But she's staying. Definitely a he book. He is staying for whenever Zach decides he actually does want to be a reader boy. Another Nicholas Sparks book, The Wish. This is one of his newer ones. Not new, but newer than like The Notebook. Like I said, keeping all Nicholas Sparks books. Definitely gonna read it. Then I have In the Cradle Lies by Olivia Newport. Yeah, Olivia Newport. I definitely want to read this. I picked it up, it didn't realize, or maybe I did realize it was the second book, but I went to read the first one, which I don't know what the first one is. But I know this is the second one because it says it's the second one. But I want to read the first one, so I have to pick the first one up first. It's staying on the TBR. Next, I have Faith Bass-Darling's Last Garage Sale by Linda Rutledge. This one I'm keeping because it sounds super interesting, and it sounds like one of those books where you end it and you go, wow, I really need to sit and ponder that. So we're 100% keeping this on the TBR. Then I have The Wonder Test by Michelle Richmond. Now, this one is definitely interesting. Okay guys, I don't know what happened. I guess my camera got a little overheated while I was sitting here contemplating this next book on whether I was gonna keep or not keep it. I don't know what the last thing you saw was, but I dug deeper into it, and this is definitely one I want to keep on my TBR. She's a long one, like she's got a lot of pages, but it sounds super, super interesting. It's a premise I've never heard of before, so I'm going to keep on the TBR. Next, I have The Liar by Ayelet Gundar Goshen, maybe? Maybe that's how you say that, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm gonna keep this one. I'm a little mixed on it. I think it sounds really good. It's a fiction book, which I have recently been into fiction. And so this sounds really interesting. My only con isn't the right word I'm looking for. Concern is, I don't know. I don't even know what my concern is. It's something I've never read before. Maybe that's my concern. I've never read this type of book before, so concerned about it. But when I first got it, I was really excited about it. I still feel a little excited about it, so I'm gonna keep it on the TBR. Okay, next I have The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson, which is the author. Okay, I don't know what it is about today, but like, I don't know if I'm just speaking faster or if my brain's just like not caught up with my mouth yet, but I have like said so many words wrong, I can't even keep track. This is the author of Since You've Been Gone. I loved that book when I was younger, so that is why I picked this book up. And it sounds interesting. It definitely feels a little younger, like YA maybe. I'm gonna keep this book. It does feel a little young, but sometimes I get into that, so I'm gonna keep it. It sounds a little wholesome, so that's what we've got. Keeping that one. Okay, next I have I Thought You Said This Would Work by Anne Garvin. Now, this book I did start and I just could not get into. I just couldn't get into it, so it's gonna go into the Little Free Library. Then I have The Cookbook Club. This is another one that has been on my immediate TBR for way too long, and it just needs to be moved up. I just need to get it read, so we're definitely keeping this one. Then we have The Pretty Little Liars Allie's Pretty Little Lies. This is the prequel novel. I definitely want to read this just for the nostalgic factor of it, so we're keeping it on the TBR. Then we have The Lost Jewels, which I'm going to keep because it seems almost very similar to The Woman in the Green Dress, which I actually really liked. So I'd like to dive back into that kind of genre and see if I still like it coming from a different person maybe. So keeping that one. And then the last one I have is Lisa Jewell, None of This Is True. And I'm obviously gonna keep this one. I've read a Lisa Jewell novel before and absolutely loved it. So I have no doubt that I will like this one. It's just a matter of when I actually go and read it. And then I picked up another book yesterday. I'll put a picture of it here. It's in my kitchen. It's called, I think, Sound of Love or Sound Like Love or something. It's the new Ashley Poston book that I'm very excited to read. That might be my next read. I'm not 100% sure after I finish this book, but that's another one that's on my TBR that's 100% staying. That is my favorite author by far. So that's another book on my TBR. That being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I will put a final number here of how many books are total on my TBR and a number here of how many books that we actually got rid of and are putting in the free little library. That is absolutely insane. I'm so excited to feel like I got at least almost an entire shelf like cleaned off. And that just feels so less overwhelming. I can't wait for people to dig into these books. Like, that's gonna be so fun to see other people's reactions to the books that I picked out. That's gonna be so fun. I hope that you really enjoyed this video. I hope that the Lord is blessing you in so many amazing ways this week. And I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye.